In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He created trees and the sky. He created bricks and light stands and shelving units and all the other things we've got to hand around the office and can film easily. God also made laws to govern the universe. The laws of physics, the laws of attraction, the laws of video game narrative, whereby at the end, the good guys always win.
Then humans came along like the pesky cosmic perma-rebels that they are and said, actually no, we don't want to follow your laws because we're special.
And because there's nothing humans can do about the laws of physics other than be incrementally less wrong about them over the course of several centuries, we decided to dick about with the conventions of video game narrative instead.
Here are 7 times video games didn't end happily ever after.
Naturally, this video contains major spoilers for all 7 titles listed, so if we start talking about a game and you haven't finished it yet, then you know what to do. Mute the video and close your eyes for a bit, because otherwise my watch time suffers, okay? Right, first out the misery blocks is Red Dead Redemption, a game I've been replaying recently because of the sequel announcement, obviously, and also because Westworld has reminded my idiot Civ brain that cowboys were a thing, and that being one is really cool. Red Dead was always on my list of favourite PS3 games, but I think I'd forgotten just how good it was. Firstly, you've got the yawning majesty of the American West to play about in, galloping, skinning and dead-eye shooting your way through an open world so lovingly detailed you can almost smell the lead and leather. And secondly, there's John Marston, a thoroughly likeable anti-hero blackmailed into doing the government's dirty work so he can live in peace with his family.
It's one of those worlds where just existing within the fiction is its own pleasure. I'd regularly spend hours just walking about listening to the spurs clinking on Marston's boots.
Or trotting across the plains as the sun bleeds into the sand, subtle ambient music playing like a breeze. And that's sort of what you're served up by Red Dead in what appears to be the ending. You've completed your mission, you're home with your family, everything seems to be going well. But as the hours tick by, a looming dread rises until the air is thick with it. And sure enough, those backstabbing beggars in their expensive bowler hats come back to tie up one last loose end. You.
I remember reloading my save a couple of times at this point, convinced if I took out enough bad guys that somehow the game would let Marston live.
You know, like a, well, fair enough mate, look how many of us you killed kind of deal, but no. Marston's last stand is as futile as it is harrowing, as the man through whom you've lived out your Wild West fantasies for the last 30 or so hours is reduced to a bullet-riddled mess. And they all lived sadly ever after. The Last of Us is next up, a game that enjoys nothing more than punching you to the floor with its big fat emotion fists. Despair, helplessness, desperation laced with regret. The ending is such a powerful one because you're forced to question the actions of Joel, who is your avatar for most of the game, don't forget, the person on whom you project your own moral compass. And so when he kidnaps Ellie
and kills all 3 of the surgeons...
Okay, that was entirely me. But anyway, you have no control over this. It's like the classic video game moral dilemma. Do you save the world and lose your companion and best friend? Or screw the world and save her? Except you have no choice. The story is driving this one. You're a helpless observer, dragged towards the game's bittersweet climax in much the same way as Ellie. And then, in the closing moments,
I swear,
you know Joel's lying. She knows Joel's lying.
Okay.
This shouldn't be the face of someone who's just finished a video game.
Entry number 3, Shadow of the Colossus. Who'd have thought a game set in a mysterious, isolated land populated by walking cliffs with sad eyes and music like this would have an ending that was anything other than an explosion of positivity.
It was made by the same team behind Eco as well, and we all know how that ended. Really well.
So when it turns out that killing the sad-eyed Cliffs wasn't actually a good idea, and that the disembodied voice telling you to murder them in a strange and definitely not creepy-sounding language actually belonged to an evil person, who then possesses you and you die, what a downer.
At least he kept his promise and Wanda's sister was revived, and at least the horse didn't die after all.
Although Aggro has broken her leg, and apparently horses sleep standing up, and so if they do break their leg, they're as good as dead anyway.
Great. Excellent game though.
Grand Theft Auto 4 is next, a game full of psychos and killers and just horrible people basically, so it's no wonder the ending isn't all smiles and rainbows. Except when Roman's wedding happens, you kind of just allow yourself a brief flicker of optimism. Maybe everything will actually turn out okay for the cousins Bellic. Maybe the 30 hours of running, gunning, thieving, hijacking and drunken bowling will end with peace and happiness.
Either Roman dies or Kate dies, depending on the choice you make.
That choice being to either strike a deal with Dmitry Raskolov, the little finger of Liberty City, or to seek revenge against the backstabbing swine and kill him. Choose the deal option and Dmitry betrays you, surprise, surprise, and sends a hitman to execute Nico, a hitman who then inadvertently guns down Roman during the struggle. Choose revenge and it's Nico's girlfriend Kate who gets killed at the wedding instead. Both horrible outcomes, both trigger Nico to go on a violent rampage and murder a man, be it Dmitry or Pegorino, on Happiness Island.
Happiness Island.
We've got Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons next, which you can tell from the off is going to be one of those games, can't you? You know, one of those games with characters you'll fall in love with, accompany on a thrilling adventure, and then, come the end, realise that through extended bouts of pushing up on a stick, you formed a deep and emotional bond with.
The game starts with the two brothers carting their sick father to a doctor, the unique control system weaving its magic straight away.
There's an intimacy to the control scheme that belies its simplicity. Each analog stick represents a different brother, which gives you a tangible relationship with them both. You feel invested in their actions with a strength of purpose few other games achieve. It feels like the effort they're expending is your effort.
And so you know the game's gonna have you go to loads of trouble, fight through horrible danger, only for the father to die at the end, right?
Wrong. Nier, the elder brother, dies instead. It's a loss keenly felt by the player, not only because, you know, he's one of the two main characters, but because you physically feel the loss. All of a sudden you're controlling just one brother, using one stick. It doesn't feel right anymore. It's both horrible and one of the cleverest pieces of game design I've experienced in years, as you bury your companion and say goodbye. Our penultimate entry is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, not now Dave, honestly, because of the double whammy of sad served up by both the reveal that the boss has been forced to betray both her country and her protege as part of her mission to serve her country, and then that you have to kill the boss yourself.
It's not even part of the boss battle. She's already down, just lying there asking you to pull the trigger and end her life.
And you do have to pull the trigger. The game won't end until you, yourself, press the button. The one time Hideo Kojima could have just done his infamous cutscene thing, the one time I would have welcomed control being taken away from me, the player. But of course it has to be you, Naked Snake, future big boss, that ends it. Things don't get any better either. You then have to stand in a room full of crusty politicians while Major Zero presumably brainstorms the birth of the Patriots, and a series worth of quintuple plot twists while he's at it. And then, after a steamy night by the fire, you find out Eva was using you all along just to get her triple-crossing hands on the Philosopher's Legacy for the Chinese.
So it goes sad, really sad, infuriating, a little bit sexy, and then, oh my god, seriously, now I'm sad again.
Then you remember the boss all over again and the sadness returns, especially if you choose to look through Snake's eyes at this moment and see his vision cloud with tears. Last entry then, and making its Friday feature debut, is Nier, a PS3 action RPG where you take control of a grizzled warrior on a quest to save his daughter Yona from the mysterious Shadow Lord. Now, there are numerous twists to this story and I'm going to spoil as few as possible, so we'll skip straight to the ending.
Actually, we'll skip even further. Let's fast forward to the ending of not the next playthrough, but the one after that.
As you play through Nier subsequent times, you'll slowly reveal more of the story, reach the end on your third playthrough, and you're offered a choice. Kill Kaine, one of your companions, and end her suffering as she's dying in agony, or, and this is the choice most people take, you can sacrifice yourself to save her.
Yes, that's sad, I hear you say, but 3 minutes ago you showed me a young boy burying his brother. In comparison, this is like tea and scones on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, here's the twist. If you choose to sacrifice yourself, then you truly have to sacrifice yourself. Nier is forced to wipe all memory of himself from the minds of every other character, which includes having all your save data deleted right in front of your eyes. Yeah, that's right, Nier is wiped from your memory too. Plus, if you then decide to start a new game, you'll be unable to name your character the same name as your character who got erased. Which means Rhaegarys Targaryen, that's what I call all my characters, is gone for good. Devastating. And very clever, Nier, well done. So there you go, 7 times Videogames didn't end happily ever after. Let us know in the comments if you can think of any others, although be careful with spoilers, especially if they're recent games. Leave a like if you like, and subscribe if you haven't already for more of these videos every Friday. Thanks for watching.